It's morning time. It's another beautiful day dawning. How are you? I hope you're well.
Did you sleep okay? Yeah.
Yeah,
Good.
Resounding cheer as everybody says, yeah, we slept perfectly.
Good morning, Shirley.
It was a lovely night. Lovely night.
Mm.
All our usuals coming
Morning
on.
yawn. Yeah, totally. Morning
Oh,
yawn this
goodness. You guys have got a reason to yawn. 2:30 tuning in from Nebraska.
Hi, Maria. Hi, Di. Anyone else? Give us a shout. Just give me a wave. Just put like a high five on the feed so we can see you.
Thumbs up coming there. Christine, lovely to see you. Have you with us?
Welcome to another morning of lockdown. I think we're third week now. Third week.
Third week, it is,
It's
yes.
Wednesday today, isn't it?
So, it is, so we're in the third week now.
It was the Tuesday, wasn't it, that we went into lockdown? Because the Monday night, I thought I'd get myself an Indian takeaway in, just in case. And that was the just in case night that we went into lockdown. Yes, I think we're 3 weeks now.
Final meal, your last supper was an
my
Indian
last supper.
takeaway.
But they're still open, which is great.
They are.
They closed, and I got a bit... and then they reopened again.
So the first takeout might be an Indian after the last supper, which was an Indian.
Yeah, what would be your food? What's like after all this is over? What are you gonna like eat?
Gary Dixon, it's lovely to have you with
Hi,
us.
Lorraine.
And Lorraine, Mary Louise, Mandy.
Hey, Louise.
Wonderful. Yes, so we're going to be talking just as people join us. We're just having a preamble chat about what would be your last food.
Fish and chips, first food.
Fish and chips, first food.
First food. It's like you're being released from the ark, you know, after the flood, and then you just kind of see what would I eat.
Fish and chips.
Fish and chips.
Peter's Chip Shop is closed along the seafront, which is a tragedy, but the
curry
Barnacle store was open. The seafood.
The seafood
Manning's Seafood was open yesterday on the seafront. How about
Sandy's
that, Albert? It's
Chinese.
lovely to have you with us, Albert. I'm coming to your...
Oh, Gino.
Jess,
Hello.
Gino.
Come and take a cuppa. Come and take a seat on our sofa. We have loads coming up this morning in our little coffee morning.
Morning, Steve Nolan.
And we're just talking about what food you're going to have after lockdown. We've got a lot of Chineses and a lot of Indians coming up.
Yes.
Yes. In other news, I ran out of chocolate yesterday, and it wasn't really an essential visit to the shop. So I'm looking forward to today getting a little bar of chocolate on board.
Oh, yes. And Albert, lovely to see you here. I'm doing a men's breakfast for Albert and his church soon. It's an online one. I'm sure if you want to, you can put a little advert for that on the feed here and tell people about that men's breakfast. I think you cook your own breakfast and then you turn on Zoom and you can zoom in and listen to my dulcet tones.
Oh, yes.
As you
Dave
have
Loveday
breakfast.
said that he would have a Mackie D breakfast.
Ooh.
And a coffee. Yeah, this is the thing, isn't it? Nuggets. I didn't. Now don't get me wrong. I didn't eat them a lot, but there were times when you're like, oh, I could really go a box of 6 with a curry sauce.
I can't believe we're talking about this at 8:30
I
in the
know,
morning.
but the thing is that you miss it, don't you? But McDonald's breakfasts. We're talking about what food. Once all this is over, what food or takeaway are you going to have? Morning, Janice.
Lovely to have you with
lovely
us,
to have
Janice.
you, Steve. Chocolate is an essential.
Shona.
Yes, it is an essential, but I felt really bad for going out twice in one day, so I didn't.
No, but we did go out running yesterday. We have been running in the mornings along Margate Beach. You know, if we step outside of our house, we can turn left and head along the beach, or right and head along the beach. And so we've been turning either left or right and running along the beach. Oh, it says, Tom, your video has come up with sound, but Joe's is fine.
No sound.
No sound.
Can anyone hear Tom?
Can anybody hear me? Can you hear me on my feed?
Give loads of hearts or likes or thumbs. Whatever.
Yeah, can you? Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
you can
that's
hear.
right. Okay, this is then... Okay, the sound is fine in Nebraska.
Okay.
That's really good.
That's fine. That's all right then.
Great.
Good. Mine are fine, you know.
So we've been going out for our morning
Yes,
runs.
we're going out for morning runs.
And a few of you have come with us virtually, which we appreciate. You've come along for the ride and just jogged along with us with your phones. And some of you live in places where you can't get out and you can't run the streets. And so we've been enjoying that for you vicariously. We are working out for you,
Yes.
so that you can sit at home with your Frosties.
Yes, no, that's right. We don't have a garden, so we kind of use the beach as our garden, just putting it out there. That's why we go out. Morning, John Watson. Lovely to have you with us. Angie, Pat, Sarah's now on mine. So we've got 2 live feeds going. We have mine and we have Tom's to bring you double bubble happiness into your atmosphere this morning in your homes. We're sharing some good news. We're sharing some proverb. We're sharing all the love.
Coffee.
And coffee.
In the
Chin,
special
chin.
Tojo mug.
Cheers.
And if you're having problems, 1 or 2 people are having problems on my feed getting volume, then just swap to Joe's feed. That's okay. There'll be no hard feelings.
That's right. Come over to my party. It's a lot more fun.
Today we're going to be talking again about from that Proverbs chapter 14. It says, a tranquil or healed heart brings life to the flesh, but envy, or that word can be translated craving, is rottenness to the bones. A tranquil heart brings life to the flesh, but craving is rottenness to the bones. And we'll be looking at that a little bit more. Pat Murray is putting washing on the line.
Pat, I think you mean glorious sun.
That is wonderful. Pat's feed, she says, good morning, Tom and Joe. I've been putting washing
on the line
in glorious sin.
Well, whatever works for you. Definitely probably glorious sun. But there we go. Yes, the tranquil heart brings flesh. No, it brings life to the flesh.
Your flesh.
God, it's the chocolate. I can't, because I haven't had any chocolate. It's affecting my brain.
Yes.
And envy brings rottenness to the bones. So we are going to be bringing you things that will make your heart glad this morning. Teaching you how to get a tranquil heart. Who saw the pink moon last night?
Oh, yes. Lots of people saw the pink moon.
Even though it wasn't pink.
Yeah, I was surprised. I was expecting a pink moon. And everybody was saying, you've got to see the pink moon. Apparently it's not pink, called pink, because it's pink.
No. And so the Native Americans, this time of year, in April, the moon will be closest to the earth than at any time during the year. And so they would name it the pink moon because this was the time when the pink flowers would grow.
And we have got some photos for you, sent in by some of you, who sent us your photos of the moon last night. We'll be showing those a little bit later.
Yes.
And some other photos which have arrived from all over the world.
Yes.
Boom, 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 boom.
It's like Tony Hart's Corner. It's going to be well exciting. We've got some brilliant pictures of your nature and creation that's been around you, the moon. Some of you have taken walks in the woods and sent us pictures. It's been lovely to see. Oh.
And one of the best bits of news this morning is the Wuhan lockdown is over. Wuhan, it is done with. It's done with.
Lockdown.
It is finished. People are leaving the city and coming back to the city.
Yeah.
So that's an exciting thing for the residents of Wuhan. It's also good news for us. It gives us the sense that there's light at the end of the tunnel.
Absolutely, there is.
That pretty soon this will all be a memory for most of us.
Yeah.
Our hearts do go out to those who are, this will affect their life for
absolutely.
a long time yet. And maybe that moon was something, when you see these things in nature, all our forefathers would see things like that and go, wow, what is God trying to tell us? And for sometimes it's just even seeing a rainbow in the sky, a sign of the covenant, reminds you of God's faithfulness, that life will carry on, that things do carry on, and the world will continue, and good days will come again.
That's right. And some of you have been having rainbows in your window drawn by you and your kids, just as a sign to the outside world of hope. And that's been really, really lovely. And it's actually given people a lot of hope. I've seen lots of Facebook feeds taking pictures of people with their rainbows, saying thank you so much for putting that in your window, because it just reminds us that we do have this hope.
Which comes from extra points for anybody who can tell me where the rainbow comes from in the good book.
Yes. Yes.
Who is the first person who can tell me who saw the rainbow in the first ever rainbow according to the Bible? Oh, this is the Bible quiz moment. There's a moment of a delay while my message goes out to you. After the flood, Janice.
Well done,
yes, indeed.
Yes.
After the cataclysm of the flood, the rainbow comes out, and God says, "Look, it's all going to be cool now.
Yeah,
everything's going to be okay."
Yeah, Jay's got it. Well done. First
everything's going to be all right.
It is. And one of the things that people said about this moon last night was actually it was nice to be able to look up at something. They said in dark times it's good to look up and just be reminded of something which was actually really special yesterday, and I thought that was lovely. People just say, look, we need to look up, and whilst we even know friends who are having a really, really rough time with COVID, and we don't want to neglect that, but at the same time we do want to make sure that we're staying positive in that as well.
Yeah.
Our prayers are going out to all those who are really deeply affected, have had family members affected by COVID. We've got people that we know who are on life's edge right now, who are affected by COVID, but we have to put one step in front of the other. Be grateful for what we have today, grateful for the people that we live with, for everything that we have, and we're just shedding some hope into your home this morning if you are in that position.
A very dear old school friend of mine, Tim, if you're watching, Tim, this morning, bless you, mate. He's recovering from COVID.
Yep.
He had it really, really quite severely at home. Absolutely knocked off his feet, making a good recovery now, though.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're praying for Boris too. Come on, Boris. You can do this. You can pull through. We need you back on the front lines again, mate.
Yeah.
Get well soon. If anyone is going to show Boris this video, we're sending him lots of love this morning.
Let's send the love now.
I'm not sure they will.
Now. Yes, there's some love coming through for Boris. Yes,
Just
that's right. It doesn't matter whether you're Labour or Conservative or Green Party or Monster Raving Loony
Boris,
Party. We want to show love to somebody who's going through a hard time at the moment.
Yeah,
and that's it. Good for you. That's right. Show some love.
Yeah.
Show some love.
Yeah, absolutely. So the rainbows in the window, we're just going to be talking around that a little bit as well.
Yeah, go for it.
Have you drawn any rainbows in your window? No? Yes? Any rainbows? Any rainbows? Any rainbows? Send us in pictures of your rainbows. They might make Gallery Corner. Let's remind people of God's covenant over the earth, shall we?
Yeah. Now, Gallery Corner, which is a bit sort of...
Boom, boom, boom.
Is an interesting thing on here, because I tend to show it to you on my iPad, which is hopelessly blurred and stuff by the time you sit. But if you do catch up TV on our YouTube channel, and here comes the shameless plug, YouTube at Tojo Fitness, and you can help us by subscribing to that. By the time it comes to there, all this is seamlessly integrated, and you get to see the pictures, and you get to see all the extra bits and bobs we throw into the show. You get to see that nicely slotted in, as if by magic, as if it were the BBC itself, but without the political bias.
Yes, indeed. So are we going to show some pictures?
We could do, yes.
Right, so
here's the gallery
is...
music, please.
Oh, dum.
Bum ba dum bum. Bum ba dum bum ba bum. Here we go.
And first picture is from Sandy from Gravesend, who went for a walk in the woods this week and found some beautiful flowers.
And here they are. What a beautiful picture.
Stunning picture, Sandy.
Absolutely brilliant. Well done.
Love for the picture.
Right.
Send
Excellent.
some love for the picture.
Here comes there's love. That was a good picture.
Oh, well done, Sandy. Thank you. And next we have Maria from...
Maria.
Are you Gravesend or are you classed as Southfleet? I don't want to... Maybe
Maria
Southfleet.
is a farmer, and she has sheep. and we asked her to get some photos of the sheep. We would love to get a video segment. Maria, perhaps you can get us a video segment next time. It would be great if you could run through the field being chased by the sheep.
No.
That would be perfect, or something like that.
Show the barb
Here's the lambs. No. Look at those lovely little lambs.
Little babies, just here.
How lovely are they? And there's another one here. There.
Thank
look at
you,
that.
Maria. Send the love for the sheep. These sheep are in Maria's back garden.
Back garden.
Well,
there.
the
farm wraps around.
Farm.
The farm wraps around the garden. Yeah, it's a wonderful setup there. Oh, look at the love for the sheep.
And
that's
there she is,
wonderful.
Southfleet. I didn't want to say
Southfleet,
Gravesend just in case. Yes.
And then we have the moon. Some people sent us in their pictures of the moon.
Pink moon, boom, boom.
And here's the first one from Laura Jane Luff. Laura Jane Luff.
Laura.
If Laura's watching, thank you for the picture. This will come out much better on the YouTube feed.
Yes.
And Laura's actually a stunning artist. I've known Laura since she was born, and she's a wonderful lady, is an incredible artist. And
she's just tuning in.
Hey, come on, Laura, we're just talking about you. We've just shown your picture, and we're saying about what an incredible artist you are. And Laura, why don't you just pop up your website or your information where people can get hold of your artwork, because it is incredible on my feed.
Yeah.
Pop up your details, honey, and that will go on there. And then finally, Jay Paternoster.
Jay's on my feed.
Who has a telescope. And one of those clever little things which takes photos with the telescope. Who got this?
Look at this.
This.
It's like you're there. It's like you're actually there.
Can you do some suitable music, honey?
I don't think I can.
Look at that.
It's just stunning. You have to have...
Isn't that beautiful?
Show the love for Jay's picture of the moon.
Moment of silence.
There
That's
it
enough.
is.
That's
there it is. Can you see how it is made of cheese? Look, all those cheese fans out there. Look. Do you reckon that's Wensleydale? Or it wouldn't be red. It could have been Red Leicester last night because it was pink.
Yeah.
Gets worse, doesn't it? Gets worse. So beautiful picture of the moon. Our apartment was the wrong way, so we couldn't see the moon last night. But we did see the evening star, so that was good enough for us. Yes, well done everyone sending in your pictures. Absolutely beautiful shots. Please keep sending them. Just whack them on our timeline, because other people like seeing them as well. And Jay's been putting pictures up of birds as well on my timeline, which has been of the fluffy variety, which has been fantastic.
So we've been celebrating. Wuhan lockdown is over. We celebrate with our Chinese friends.
Yeah.
And we have relatives who are in China, and it's great to know that their lockdown's releasing.
Yeah.
And celebrating last night, I plugged in a new speaker. I had another speaker I put into the sound system in our flat here, and but what was interesting is at the time I was doing that, I also read an article about some new research from the British Association of Sound Therapy, which was made public, I think, yesterday, and it says about how the effect of music on your soul, the effect of music on you as a human being, and on your psychological setup. And they have discovered this, that 13 minutes of relaxing music, 13 minutes, that's the magic number, produces in their test subjects an 84% reduction in anxiety.
Wow.
Now that, if you know anything about anxiety, is massive. Those figures are massive. They are far in excess of any effect that you can get from any drugs, prescription drugs. 84% reduction in anxiety from 13 minutes of relaxing music. Now,
I think Comfortably Numb's about 13 minutes, isn't it, from Pink Floyd?
Yeah. I'm not...
That'll do.
Or your favourite bit of music on repeat over and over and over.
Yeah.
But what they discovered is that you can also make yourself happy with music. Now, we know this, but it's interesting when the science catches up with us, is that 9 minutes, it only takes 9 minutes of playing happy music to make you happier. Now, if you do it less than that, it has a less dramatic effect. But once you hit 9 minutes, 65% of people say they're happier, and 82% of people say they feel more in control of their life.
Huh.
82% after 9 minutes.
More in control of your life, right?
When you listen to happy music.
Right.
What a wonderful... What would be your happy music that you would play?
Jan's giving me the love for Pink Floyd right now.
Ah, yes.
My feed has stayed silent on music. It's your feed at the...
Angie Lou, Edam, is that music?
That's from the moon.
That's from the moon,
yeah,
okay.
That's the cheese.
Do catch up, Angie.
Yeah, but that's been there for a while.
Oh, okay, I haven't seen that one.
Yeah.
The third piece of information that's come out from the BAST, the British Association of Sound Therapy, is that if you're sad, if you're feeling sadness, it takes, again, 13 minutes of music, which brings, and this is just incredible, 13 minutes of positive, upbeat, uplifting music with a good, fast tempo brings an 84% of people said they had total relief.
Wow.
From what they called systemic sadness. That is, this was people who had been suffering for a long period of time with sadness or forms of depression, and they said that they found 84% said they had a total relief for a period after that time from listening to music. What a wonderful thing. And isn't it not the prophets who said, without a song or a dance, what are we?
I'm sure that's in there somewhere. Lorraine says they use music therapy at the school that she works at, which can have amazing effects on all types of behaviour. If you, again, know your Bible, you'll know that David used to play music to Saul, because Saul used to get in funny headspaces and try and pin David to the wall with a spear, and David would get out his little harp and play and soothe him.
And Janice here says that her son Clinton plays Comfortably Numb to cheer her up.
Oh.
Which is one. I used to play Iron Maiden at really loud volumes when I was a kid in my bedroom, and it never used to cheer my mum and dad up. I couldn't understand that.
No, I'm not surprised. So Kate here, she listens to Walking on Sunshine by Katrina and the Waves.
That's good.
Lark Ascending by Vaughan Williams. Yes, actually got my guitar out the other day and had a
Walking on sunshine, yeah, yeah, I'm walking on sunshine, hey, hey, take it away.
No, don't make me do it. That's really cool, but that's also a way in which we can get a tranquil heart, which is what we are looking at in Proverbs. Jay says, Neil Diamond, Brother Love.
Oh, yeah. We had Neil Diamond on the breakfast show.
We did. A couple of days, last week.
Yes, and if you want to see that, you can actually go onto, here's the YouTube promotion.
Yep.
On our YouTube slot, you can find there the Neil Diamond is there. And because of the way he put it out, the licensing, the way he released it, we were able to import it and use it actually legally in the show. So you can see that.
That's right. I like anything you can sing along to. This is Angie. Love a bit of Nina Simone.
Oh.
I don't think I've heard of. I don't think
Nina
I've heard of
Simone. I'll have to educate you.
I have been listening to. Oh, this is really going to be bad, isn't it? I've been listening to a bit of Ibiza trance actually when I've been working out. That's kind of that was kind of my level when I run, which is quite cool.
Pat's listening to Bee Gees, Staying Alive.
Oh, that's good.
That's great. That's good.
Ironic song right now, isn't it?
It's good for now, yes.
Wow. So, we are looking at good news today. What other good news have we got, babe?
Well, we have news that the Gates Foundation, that's Bill and Melinda Gates, Microsoft, who have
all you Apple people,
having earned a fortune in the computing industry, have ploughed the vast proportion of their money into humanitarian stuff. And if you've travelled in Africa, certainly when we've travelled in India, we've seen the difference. The Gates Foundation has made literally, you go to outlying villages where kids were dying of AIDS, and they're no longer dying of AIDS because they're getting the retrovirals, and they're getting them because of the work of the Gates Foundation. It really works. Yeah. And they're now building 7 COVID vaccine factories. There are 7 different vaccines which could possibly work. They don't know which would work, but the problem is they don't have the factory capacity to be able to develop all 7 at the same time. And so it could take a long time as they develop one, realise it doesn't work, and then have to clear the factory out and start again with another one. Yeah. So Bill Gates has said, I will build 7 factories they can all have their own factory, they can all develop at the same time. Wow. And the proceeds, whatever vaccine is discovered to be the correct one, that they can have for nothing. What a wonderful thing. Thank you, Bill and Melinda. We appreciate that.
The Gateses.
The Gateses, yes. Wonderful.
Is that even a word?
I don't know. I think it is. Actually, my family on my granddad's side are Gateses.
Are they?
Yes, on my granny's side are Scuttses, and on my granddad's side are Gateses. I wonder if we're related.
Well, that would be a bit ironic, seeing as you're an Apple guy.
It would be, wouldn't it?
He doesn't like Microsoft very much. There's no product placement on this show. We're
coming back to songs. Pat likes Roberta Flack, Killing Me Softly.
We should do a sing-along. Should we do a sing-along on a coffee morning, do you reckon,
I think
one day?
We should. Yeah.
Do a bit of... We'll get some songs together, perhaps. I don't know if our neighbours would like it, but...
I don't know.
Perhaps we should all do a bit of a sing-song. Yes.
So, what Indeed. A wonderful, wonderful day it is out there where we are. What is it like where you are?
Yes, so we're going to look at a little bit about having a tranquil heart and what it is to not... So, the definition of suffering is that what is happening around you isn't what you want to happen. So there's this tension between what is and this between what is actually you want to happen. Does that make sense?
Yeah, the source of our suffering. So there's a difference between pain and suffering. Pain is something you're going to have. It's just going to be with you. Pain is part of life. Suffering is when we internalize it. So pain comes to us from the outside in towards our soul. Suffering is when it gets into our soul, into our hearts and into our minds and starts eating us up on the inside. And somebody once said that the source of our suffering is the discrepancy or the difference between the way the world is and the way we want it to be. Yeah. So I am very happy with the car I have. There's no suffering in there, it's okay. Sometimes it's a bit of a pain if it doesn't start, but it's not a great problem. But then I find all my friends and all my neighbours buy brand new Mercedes-Benzes. And then I start thinking, well, why haven't I got a Mercedes-Benz? And I start envying, I start craving, I start wanting my world to be different from the way it is. And as that gets more into my heart, I start developing a sense of entitlement. Perhaps I start developing a sense of if only I had been better equipped, better educated, if only I'd been breastfed as a baby, if only whatever had happened, then my life would now be different. And some pain starts becoming suffering when the gap opens up between the way the world is and the way we want it to be. So in the concentration camps, and I've done quite a bit of research in this over the years, the difference between the people who survived, I'm not talking about when decisions were taken out of their hands, but a lot of people just died long before they ever reached the gas chambers. And the people who survived and the people who died before that time, the difference is their attitude to suffering, not the suffering they had. That those who were able to go, this is the way the world is, this is the way my life is right now, and I'm going to come to terms with that. They're the ones who survived. The ones who suffered are the ones who could never come to terms with that.
That's right.
And so our proverb, which says, a tranquil heart, a healed heart brings life to the flesh, but craving is rottenness to the bones.
Yeah.
Tells us that to detach ourselves from suffering is to detach ourselves from craving.
I think the what happens. Sorry, morning, Beck. Lovely to have you with us. I think one of the things that you hear a lot lately is when this happens, then I'll be happy.
Yeah.
When I lose weight, then I'll be happy with myself. When my debts are paid, or when I get a better house, then I'll be happy. When the kids leave home, then I'll be happy. But actually, having a tranquil heart means that you can actually access that happiness in that peace, like now, in the middle of the. All right. So what happens when your life doesn't look like the brochure? So in the middle of your unhappiness, if you come to terms with the reality as to what it is, the fact that you actually have grace for that, then it takes away the suffering. It takes away that tension. It takes away that actually I can be happy now. I don't have to wait for something in the future, because it might be you get to that place in the future and you're still not happy, and then it's the next thing, and it's always the next thing, isn't it?
Yeah, and so this proverb where it says that craving is rottenness to the bone, craving is when we create an attachment to something we don't have. So I say, I want to create the perfect Christmas for me and my family. I remember what it was like, these perfect Christmases when I was a kid. Of course, they weren't perfect, but you felt that they were perfect. Or you remember in your rose-coloured glasses, remembering back, you think they were wonderful and magical. So you try and recreate them for your family. And you create a very strong attachment between your now and the way you want that Christmas to be. And then, of course, that Christmas doesn't work out the way you expect it. And this has been perfectly illustrated in the great film National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Talking about Christmas.
I know. When he tries to create the perfect Griswold family Christmas, and of course it doesn't work out that way because life doesn't. And he becomes increasingly unwound as he tries to close the gap between the way the world is and the way he wants it to be.
Yeah.
And peace doesn't come until he severs that connection, until he lets go of the craving to make the world a different place than the way it is, and when he accepts it the way it is. And so our attachment to a different situation than we currently have, that attachment creates craving.
Yeah.
Craving creates dis-ease in our beings. And dis-ease is what creates suffering.
Yeah.
Let me say that again. Our attachment to stuff creates craving. That craving creates dis-ease. That dis-ease creates suffering. I remember as a kid looking through the Argos catalogue for some, and you know the Argos catalogue, you'd look at something and you'd say, wow, it's my birthday, I want an Action Man tower or an Action Man tank, that's what I want. And I would go and see my mum and dad, and I didn't know I wanted the tank until Argos told me I wanted it.
I know.
And then when I discovered I wanted it, the craving built up. And I imagined what it would be like to have this tank. How my life would be perfect if only I had this tank. If only I had this situation change. And I'd go and see my mum and I would make her life miserable. Yeah. And then if they couldn't afford it, when Christmas came and I didn't get it, my life was now a disaster.
You've ruined my life.
That's right. And it wasn't because I didn't get the Action Man tank. The tank I may have got, and after 5 minutes, I didn't want it anymore. It's because the craving, the attachment. So by severing our attachments, our wrong attachments, this proverb becomes true. Yeah. A tranquil heart brings life to the flesh, but craving is rottenness to the bones.
Yeah, absolutely. It's I remember when we were just leaving the hospital after they told us about cancer, and we were just going through the barrier, and Tom said to me, he said, you know what? He said, you are exactly where you should be, because everything in your head was like, why God, why can't I? And you end up getting angry and you end up getting bent out of shape because of the way things are happening, exactly the same as what we are now. Why is this happening to so many people? and yet we have to almost come to peace with the environment that we're in, and then God is able to do something, right?
Yeah.
You are exactly where you should be right now. And out of that, there will always come growth. Out of that, there will always come life. And you'll always, what they say, bear fruit, wherever you are.
Yeah.
And we have to almost, okay, I'm not going to fight all the time. We're not going to spend all of our life fighting the environment that I'm in. This constant, it's actually allowing the flow of life, allowing, and everything that happens to you, if you believe that is God ordained anyway.
Yeah.
Or in what's called God's permissive will, and then which He's able to then work on.
And so we come to terms with the things around us and in our life, and it's really interesting. Somebody here has just said, Kate Amos has just said, if it were just me, I think I would cope better. My suffering is more for my girls being unable to provide for or change their situation, and yet when I look at them, they're fine. They're fine. Yeah. And so we create this tension.
Thanks for sharing, Kate. Yeah.
What a tension that can be, and how difficult that can be. We want to create a perfect home.
Yeah.
We get the IKEA home. If only I can get this IKEA home, everything will be fine.
Yeah.
You see, here's the thing, and this is where the preach shall end, is the most beautiful flower in the world is the lotus. The lotus. And the lotus flower grows on muddy ponds. If you take away the mud, there's no lotus. No mud, no lotus. If you try and grow lotus and you make nice concrete ponds and you fill them with nice clean gravel, lotus flowers won't grow. Lotus flowers grow on all the dead flowers that have died and sunk to the bottom of the pond, all the detritus that's in there, all of the perhaps dead animals that have fallen into the pond. Lotus ponds often stink. And yet out of that comes the most beautiful flower. And if you want to find happiness in the absence of pain, you'll spend your life looking and you'll be disappointed. Yeah. But in the midst of this, you see the flower. That's the key to happiness.
Yeah, that's right. That's a huge reminder as well. And God teaches this to us all the time in creation. Just looking at life will always come forth.
Yeah,
life
absolutely.
Will always come forth. The trees, they die in the winter. When you look at them, they're just sticks. You think, oh my gosh, it's actually looking quite barren.
They let go. Autumn is a wonderful example. In autumn, the trees teach us the wisdom of letting go. All of the poisons and all of the toxins that tree's got during the year have been pumped now into these leaves. The leaves are no longer able to photosynthesize the sun's rays, and so all of the toxins get pumped into those same leaves, and then the leaves get discarded. And the discarding of those leaves, they fall to the ground and they provide the nutrients for next year's growth. But what if the tree held onto those leaves? What if the tree refused to let go of those leaves? It would keep all the toxins. Yeah. So that which we resist persists. Yeah. That which we hold on to, and even if it was really good, creates poison for us. So let it go. Yeah. Let it go. Here's the song.
Let it go. Let it go.
There it is.
There it is.
Oh, it's been lovely being with you all again today.
Do you know what? You make it our day. You bring joy to our day just by kind of chilling and seeing your comments. And we, just like you, we kind of need company as well. And we love being with you and sitting with a cup of coffee and just chatting about the world. And it's been lovely. We love you lots.
So as we come into a close here with the flaps are up, the landing gears down.
Oh, I don't like that sound in the plane.
Remember that a tranquil, healed heart is life to the flesh. Take some time out for yourself.
Yes.
Do that. Your kids, you can leave your kids for 20 minutes.
Well, not if they're
if they're toddlers, but you understand. You know. And go and get some time.
Yeah.
And take it for yourself. I believe that one of the best. We were actually in a hot tub a while back in a forest.
Oh yeah.
And as we were lying in that hot tub, this was just after Joe had recovered from cancer, and somebody sent us away to this forest retreat for a couple of days. And as we were lying in that hot tub, and if you're somebody with a good work ethic, you tend to feel a little bit guilty about taking time out like that. I don't think we should feel guilty. And one thing Joe said to me, what did you say?
Oh, I was sitting there, I was under the tree canopy in the hot tub. And I said, you know what, I think God might be all right if I just spent the rest of my life just observing everything he'd made. And it was just one of those dropping, I think, he doesn't require certain...
He doesn't require our help. He doesn't need...
rules and stuff.
It's not like God created us because he didn't have enough people to run the universe, or he didn't have enough power to run the universe, or because the Garden of Eden was going out of control. He created us to enjoy it.
Yeah.
To enjoy it.
Yeah.
And so today, take some time, this enforced retreat, to breathe.
Voluntary retreat.
A poor life this, if full of care, we have no time to stop and stare.
Yeah. Yep. Well, that's it for us today. We are back on Saturday morning. So we're not here Thursday and Friday. We're back Saturday morning because some people obviously work and have the weekends off.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to give them an opportunity to come on board. Send us in your pictures, photos.
Please subscribe to our YouTube channel.
To YouTube.
Where everything will be moving at some point in the near future.
Yeah. Right, take care of each other, be safe, love you loads, enjoy creation.
God bless you.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.